Hey everybody, Eddy Gee here on Behind the Scenes, only on the Nazca Network. And today we have Mr. Captain America himself, Chris Evans. He's going to talk to us about the new Marvel film, Captain America Civil War. Okay, Chris, let's start off by finding out how you feel about stepping into the Captain America suit for the 5th time.
A lot more comfortable. You know, the first couple times you're terrified and you want to make sure that you pay the character the right respect that it deserves. But you know, now that I feel a little bit more comfortable doing it. It's exciting and it feels like home now.
How do you take the character and add a little more depth to it and explore a little more the personality behind Captain America?
It was great. You know, they always make Cap's decisions very. He's a very binary guy. You know, it's this or that. I mean, he's black and white, and this is the first time it's kind of been an uncertain decision in terms of what the right move is, and it's self-serving. So it was exciting to kind of see him have a struggle that wasn't so clear.
How does the relationship between Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes play out in this story?
It's very relevant. You know, it's a very personal struggle for Steve. Steve always tries to take his emotions out of the equation. He always tries to think of the greater good. And when it comes to Bucky, it's a very personal situation. And so it's easy to become human and to let your emotions fog and cloud your judgment. And Bucky represents something from his past that no one else can match. I don't care how strong his bonds are with his current family. Bucky is his original family, and that can take precedence.
You've made 2 Avengers movies where you fought side by side. Now, in a film where you're fighting each other, how was it filming those battle scenes?
Sure. Even though we filmed movies where the Avengers are all united, filming a movie where the Avengers are crumbling from within it's strange, but exciting, because you know that the stakes are going to be cranked higher than they ever could have been prior. Yeah, this is, and it's far more akin to struggles in life. You know, I think anyone can agree that a fight you have with your enemy is nowhere near as dramatic as a fight you have with a family member. You know, when it's someone you simultaneously hate and love, I mean, it just makes it that much more complex.
Who is on Team Cap and who isn't that you wish was on your team?
Sure. On Team Cap, we have me, we have Falcon, we have Scarlet Witch, we have Ant-Man, we have, I was going to say Sebastian, we have the Winter Soldier, we have Hawkeye. Who do I wish were on Team Cap? You know, Hulk would be nice. He would really just bat cleanup and just take care of this whole mess.
I saw a lot of physical stunts being done by yourself and the stuntmen. Were there any mishaps? Anybody get hurt doing those crazy things?
There are some tricky things, you know, because a lot of these characters are physical fighters. You know, it's not Iron Man, Vision, guys like, Thor. These are all CGI-based combat characters, but Black Panther, Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, myself, these are characters that fight with hand-to-hand combat. So when you have these giant running scenes, you need to hit, you need to collide. And, you know, I saw a few stuntmen take a few nasty tumbles, you know, like really, really hitting the ground hard and brutally. And, you know, it's all in the movie.
Can you talk about working with Joe and Anthony Russo? Tell me about having 2 directors. Is that a difficult task? Does it make it easier or harder on the actors?
Yeah, they're great. I mean, the biggest thing, in my opinion, for an actor on a set is trusting your director. As an actor, the worst thing you can do is play it safe. The worst thing you can do is go to set and think, this is my instinct, and I'm only going to stick to my instinct. And you know, if we have 3 or 4 takes, I'm only going to use these takes to get on film what I think the character needs. The best stuff comes from those risks and those chances and the stuff when you kind of put yourself out there. And you don't tend to do that when you don't trust your director. And I shouldn't make it a negative. When you trust your director, that's when you go for it. That's when you really take chances. And the best thing about Anthony and Joe is that I trust them so completely, so fully, that I'm willing to just say, listen, can we do one more? I'm just going to try something. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. I don't have to worry that you're going to use it incorrectly.
Last question before I go talk to your buddy, Robert Downey Jr., Mr. Iron Man. What should fans be expecting from this movie?
You're going to have the experience of a comic book movie, but it's not going to feel like a comic book movie. The Russos do a really good job of taking movies where people fly and shoot lightning and, do very heightened things, but it feels grounded. It feels relatable. It feels like a normal human story, a human struggle with a little streak of comic book in it. It doesn't feel so completely overwhelmingly comic booky that it's no longer identifiable.
Okay, guys, we had Captain America. Now we are here with his co-star, Robert Downey Jr., also known as Iron Man. Well, Robert, you've been on this Iron Man journey almost 10 years, and you've been in some predicaments in these films. Did you ever think that you would be in a situation where you would battle each other, Iron Man and Captain America?
I remember the comic book series Civil War, and I thought, man, if we could pull that off, that'd be swell. But it was never really in the docket of like, this is a definitive gonna happen Marvel movie, so no.
Interesting. Now that you have Black Panther join the crew, what do you think Chadwick Boseman brings to that role?
Without taking away from anything else, I think it's the most exciting thing that's happened in the history of the universe, because there was enough space and enough success to go and say, well, really, how do you explain the Marvel universe in its entirety, and how it's evolved over time? And so, just coming from such a technologically advanced country, and being someone who very much has his own agenda. And then there's just Chadwick himself, who to me is such a dynamic just guy, and obviously a great actor, but I think it's a super inspired piece of casting. And then, and then knowing that Mr. Coogler is directing him in the Black Panther movie, to me it was like, man, that might just take the cake right there.
Okay, we have a question from one of your fans, a Nazca Network viewer, who would like to know, what was the most fun experience for you making this movie?
There's one sequence where, without giving too much away, there's a threat, and we have to try to contain it. And things have gotten to the point where there's so many suits and heroes and everything that we were thinking, what if he just has a watch that kind of turns into a weapon for a second? So there's still always this innovation that occurs. So we basically literally had, in this one sequence, Tony just basically has a watch that kind of turns into a one-shot Derringer.
Okay, last question, then I'll let you go. Do you feel that same excitement that the Marvel fans feel whenever a new film comes out? I mean, do you make it to the theater and watch it on the big screen with the rest of the world, try to get the experience that the regular guy gets?
I have, and I suspect I will with this too. But it's just like, again, Jungle Book's going to be out in a minute, and other of my friends do movies, and I think there's this, there's just kind of a fraternity of people who don't poo-poo this kind of genre movie. And I met a fair amount of them the first time I went to Comic-Con, and I am friendly with people who kind of, peek out of the closet and you go, dude, I'm crazy about Civil War or whatever. So I think, again, that, because the movies are just executed very well, they exist as just pure entertainment. But then there's this little constellation that gets lit up in people who are fans of the comics back in the day, or just love this kind of storytelling. So, I'm all for geeking out on Marvel picks.
Okay, guys, you heard it right here first. Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans from the upcoming film Captain America: Civil War. It's a great film. Get out and see it. Comes out this Friday, May 6th, and I think you'll enjoy it. Just stay tuned next time for more from behind the scenes, only on the Nazca Network. Eddy Gee out.